in Buddhist cosmology. Existence is described as a vast and intricate system of realms that reflect the different states of consciousness and karmic conditions that sentient beings can experience. These realms are not just physical locations, but also represent psychological and spiritual states. The concept of the 6 realms of samsara originates in early Buddhist traditions and is central to Mahayana and Tibetan Buddhism. Samsara, the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, is governed by karma, the accumulated effects of one's thoughts, words, and actions. Until one attains enlightenment and breaks free from samsara, they are reborn into one of these 6 realms based on their karma. These realms can be divided into 3 lower realms associated with intense suffering, and 3 higher realms associated with relative pleasure. Yet even the highest realms are impermanent and subject to suffering. By understanding these realms, practitioners can cultivate insight into the nature of suffering and aspire toward liberation. The first of the 6 realms is the hell realm, characterized by intense suffering, pain, and torment. In Buddhist teachings, this is not a permanent place of eternal damnation, but a temporary state influenced by the results of one's negative actions. The hell realm is divided into hot and cold hells, where beings suffer extreme temperatures, torture, and despair. These hellish experiences arise from anger, hatred, and aggression in one's previous lives. While the suffering in these realms may seem eternal, it is important to remember that once the negative karma is exhausted, beings are reborn into another realm. The Buddhist perspective on hell differs from the eternal punishment found in some religious traditions. Instead, it serves as a warning about the consequences of unchecked hatred and violent actions, encouraging individuals to cultivate patience, compassion, and wisdom in their present lives to avoid such rebirths. The second realm is the hungry ghost realm, preta realm, where beings experience insatiable craving and endless dissatisfaction. Those who are reborn here are said to have been consumed by greed, attachment, and excessive desire in their past lives. The hungry ghosts, or pretas, are often depicted as having enormous stomachs and tiny, needle-thin throats, symbolizing their inability to ever be satisfied. No matter how much they consume, their hunger and thirst remain unquenched. This realm represents not only a physical rebirth, but also a mental and emotional state where a person may be trapped in addiction, obsession, or compulsive materialism. Many Buddhist teachings suggest that those who are excessively greedy or manipulative in life may find themselves reborn as hungry ghosts. However, just like all realms, this is not a permanent state, and through the practice of generosity and gratitude, one can transcend the tendencies that lead to suffering in this realm. The third of the lower realms is the animal realm, a state of existence driven by ignorance, instinct, and survival. Those who are reborn as animals are thought to have lived lives dominated by ignorance and complacency, failing to cultivate wisdom or engage in higher consciousness. Animals are often depicted as being enslaved by their instincts, unable to comprehend the deeper truths of existence. While some animals experience relatively comfortable lives, many live in constant fear, competition, and suffering. This realm serves as a metaphor for human states of being when individuals act purely on base instincts without mindfulness, reflection, or higher aspirations. Buddhism teaches that intellectual and spiritual laziness can lead to rebirth in this realm, emphasizing the importance of seeking wisdom and understanding the deeper nature of reality. The antidote to this karmic consequence is the cultivation of knowledge, awareness, and the pursuit of enlightenment. Among the three higher realms is the human realm, considered the most auspicious of all because it offers the perfect balance of suffering and joy, making it the ideal state for spiritual practice and awakening. While humans still experience pain, loss, and hardship, they also have the capacity for self-awareness, moral reasoning, and enlightenment. Unlike beings in the lower realms, humans are not entirely consumed by suffering. And unlike beings in the higher realms, they are not distracted by excessive pleasure. The Buddha taught that being born as a human is a rare and precious opportunity because only humans have the ability to study the Dharma, practice meditation, and liberate themselves from samsara. However, many humans squander this chance by pursuing material wealth, pleasure, and power rather than spiritual development. The teachings encourage practitioners to make the most of this human life by cultivating wisdom, ethical conduct, and compassion, recognizing that the human realm is an extraordinary opportunity to break free from the cycle of rebirth. The demigod realm, Asura realm, is a place of power, jealousy, and strife. Beings in this realm are strong, proud, and often engaged in endless conflicts with the gods. They possess great merit from past good actions, but are also afflicted by envy and competitiveness. The Asuras, demigods, enjoy immense pleasures and powers, yet they are never content, always feeling envious of the higher gods and desiring more. This realm serves as a reminder of the dangers of unchecked ambition and pride. In the human world, the Asura mindset can be seen in individuals who have wealth, influence, and success, but remain deeply unsatisfied, constantly seeking more, and engaging in rivalry with others. Buddhism teaches that the way out of this realm is through humility, equanimity, and relinquishing the desire for dominance over others. By letting go of attachment to power and status, one can transcend the suffering inherent in this realm and move toward true peace and wisdom. At the peak of samsara is the God realm, Deva realm, where beings experience immense pleasure, beauty, and seemingly limitless joy. Gods or devas reside in heavenly realms, where they enjoy long lifespans, supernatural abilities, and the absence of suffering, at least for a time. However, the pleasure of this realm is ultimately deceptive because it leads to complacency and spiritual stagnation. Unlike humans, gods live in such luxury that they have little motivation to seek enlightenment. When their vast stores of good karma are eventually depleted, they must descend into lower realms, facing suffering once again. The God realm represents the illusion of ultimate happiness through material success and indulgence, showing that even the highest pleasures in samsara are impermanent. The Buddhist path teaches that while it may be tempting to seek pleasurable experiences, true liberation comes from transcending all realms and attaining nirvana, where suffering ceases entirely. Understanding these 6 realms allows practitioners to recognize the various states of existence and mind that they may experience in their own lives. One does not need to wait for rebirth to encounter these realms. Each can manifest in the present moment. A person overcome by rage is in the hell realm. Someone trapped in addiction or greed is in the hungry ghost realm, and those who live in fear and ignorance are in the animal realm. Similarly, moments of ambition and competition reflect the demigod realm, while excessive pleasure-seeking can resemble the God realm. The human experience encompasses all these states, providing an opportunity to cultivate wisdom, compassion, and mindfulness to eventually transcend samsara altogether. By applying the Buddha's teachings, one can rise beyond the limitations of these realms and progress toward enlightenment, where suffering ceases and true peace is found. Understanding the order of the realms and transcendence. The 6 realms of samsara are often depicted in a circular wheel, the bhavachakra, symbolizing the continuous cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. They are not necessarily arranged in a strict linear hierarchy of transcendence, but they do represent different levels of suffering and karmic refinement. The lower realms, hell-hungry ghosts and animals, are states of greater ignorance and suffering, while the higher realms, humans, demigods, and gods, offer more opportunities for wisdom and spiritual progress. However, even the God realm, which might seem like the most desirable, is still part of samsara and ultimately impermanent. True transcendence is not about climbing to the top of the realms, but about stepping completely out of the cycle and attaining nirvana. How do we know which realm we are in? Rather than seeing these realms as external places, Buddhist teachings encourage us to recognize them as psychological and existential states we move in and out of within a single lifetime, or even within a single day. Here's how to recognize which realm you might be in at any given time. Hell realm, when you are overwhelmed by anger, hatred, or deep suffering, feeling trapped in intense pain with no way out. Hungry ghost realm, when you experience obsessive craving, addiction, or dissatisfaction, constantly seeking but never feeling fulfilled. Animal realm, when you are operating on instinct alone, avoiding deep reflection, stuck in ignorance, or living in a state of fear and survival. Human realm, when you are aware of both suffering and joy, questioning existence, and capable of self-reflection, ethical choice, and seeking wisdom. Demigod realm, when you are engaged in competition, power struggles, envy, and ambition, always comparing yourself to others. God realm, when life is pleasurable and easy, but you are complacent and uninterested in spiritual growth because everything seems comfortable. What realm should we aim for next? If you find yourself in one of the lower realms, the goal is to cultivate qualities that help you rise to a higher state of consciousness. If you are in hell, practice patience, compassion, and forgiveness to soften suffering. If you are in the hungry ghost realm, cultivate generosity and contentment. If you are in the animal realm, develop wisdom, curiosity, and awareness. If you are in the demigod realm, practice humility and let go of competition. If you are in the God realm, deepen your mindfulness to avoid complacency. The human realm is considered the most advantageous because it offers both suffering and insight, making it the best place for spiritual practice. If you're in the human realm, the next step is to cultivate wisdom, compassion, and mindfulness to move beyond all 6 realms and break free from samsara entirely. How can we understand where others are? Observing people's predominant behaviors and mental states can give clues about what realm they might be experiencing. Someone who is constantly angry and destructive is likely in a hell realm state. Someone who is never satisfied, always seeking, addicted, or deeply attached to external validation may be in the hungry ghost realm. Someone who avoids intellectual or spiritual inquiry, living only by habit or instinct, may be in the animal realm. Someone who is highly reflective, questioning life, and seeking wisdom is in the human realm. Someone who is ambitious but competitive, obsessed with power or control, may be in the demigod realm. Someone who seems to have everything but is uninterested in deeper truths may be in the God realm. How can we help others transcend? Helping others depends on their level of receptivity. The Buddha taught that forcing wisdom onto someone is ineffective. Instead, we can gently guide them through our actions and presence. For those in suffering, hell realm, offer compassion and support. Remind them that suffering is impermanent. For those in craving, hungry ghost realm, encourage generosity and gratitude. Help them see what they already have. For those in ignorance, animal realm, inspire curiosity and mindfulness. Help them see beyond routine and instinct. For those in ambition, demigod realm, encourage humility and equanimity. Show them that competition is a trap. For those in comfort, God realm, introduce the Dharma. Help them recognize that pleasure is temporary and deeper wisdom is needed. The best way to help others is by embodying wisdom yourself. When you live mindfully and compassionately, others naturally gravitate toward that energy. Do we have to go through all the realms? Not necessarily. While many beings cycle through different realms, based on their karma, it is possible to break free from samsara without experiencing every realm. Some people may spend lifetimes in one realm, while others move between them quickly. The key is awareness. If you can recognize samsara as a cycle and cultivate wisdom, you can step beyond it entirely. How do we get to the top? If the top means reaching the highest realms, such as the God realm, this is not the ultimate goal, because even these realms are impermanent. The true path is to transcend all 6 realms entirely and reach nirvana, the state of complete liberation beyond suffering. The Buddha outlined the path to this freedom in the Eightfold Path, which includes right view, understanding the nature of reality and the impermanence of all things. Right intention, cultivating thoughts of compassion, non-attachment, and wisdom. Right speech, speaking truthfully, kindly, and with purpose. Right action, acting ethically and in alignment with wisdom. Right livelihood, engaging in work that is ethical and beneficial. Right effort, diligently practicing mindfulness and self-improvement. Right mindfulness, cultivating awareness of the present moment. Right concentration, developing deep meditation and insight. By practicing these principles, one moves toward enlightenment, where the cycle of rebirth ends and true peace is attained. Final thoughts. Rather than aiming to move up the realms, The ultimate goal is to step off the wheel altogether. Recognizing these realms in yourself and others helps develop compassion and wisdom. By practicing mindfulness, generosity, and ethical living, you create the conditions for transcending samsara entirely. The journey is not about escaping suffering, but about understanding its nature so deeply that it no longer binds you. Through insight, practice, and awakening, one can reach liberation, the true freedom beyond all realms. Thank you for spending time here at the International World Wisdom Well and learning from this carefully curated audiobook. Cultivating global happiness, well-being, and compassionate wisdom, inside and out, together. Join us in our mission to enhance the world while nurturing inner wisdom, one drop at a time. This is a gift from our hearts to yours. Please share with those who may benefit. May we all be well. May we all be happy.